All right, so let me show you. It is here. It's on my desktop. And since it is Andrew Ng talking, then we're listening, even though we suspect that maybe we will not hear anything amazing. But that is the brochure. Now, if you want the brochure, you can get it from the folder. Here is that folder, and I will, since it is a PDF, I will put it into a slideshow view, and it will be better, looking better this way. There you are, right? Okay, so it is probably a presentation by Andrew that has his dear to his heart interests in mind. But tell me, guys, how many people have not heard about Andrew?
I have not.
Wow, okay, great. Then I will say a few words. Andrew Ng worked everywhere. He worked at Google, at Baidu, and at Microsoft. And I think I remember a lawsuit that he went from one company to another, and that company from where he went wasn't happy. And the end was that they said, okay, for a year you will not do anything, but they will probably pay his salary. And I was thinking that's some power. But in any case, he was everywhere, and then he started Coursera. So Coursera is right here. But that you could hear and see without me. What is interesting about Coursera is that Andrew was teaching, I believe, at Stanford at this time, and that was the very first attempt to offer an online course. Very first. Today, everything is online, but back then it was the first offer, which was met with such great success. More than 10,000 people. At this time, it was an enormous amount of people that he started Coursera just because of that. But recently, Andrew is doing something else. It's I need to show you what he's doing because that is very useful and interesting for everyone. Now, I have it in a certain place right here. So let me show. Here, I collected here because it's all very useful. So Andrew Ng publishes as part of his deeplearning.ai. So if you want to know where that is, it's deeplearning.ai. Deeplearning.ai is in turn connected with the other platforms. So when you go there, you will have to log in. You will need an account, but that account is free. After you have an account that's free, you will see his courses. The amazing thing is that recently, and that recently means about a year, he publishes courses non-stop and you cannot pay. There is nothing that is for money there. Of course, he has a $50 million fund for startups. He has what to put on the table. But these courses are all free. And if you just click on them, on one of them, and come here, my account is this, then you will be in the course. These courses are all the same structure. It's what is going to happen on the left, what is happening right here on the right, some presenter. Let us start. And I should reshare. So what I will do, oh yes, Andrew created also Lantern AI, and that is his $50 million fund. Yes, there is an order in which I would recommend to take the course, since I think that will provoke a lot of interest I'll pay some attention to this. But the very first one that you should take is this one. So the course is all structured like this. I'll reshare so that I will share with the sound. Like this, I stopped sharing. Now I'm starting sharing again with the sound. And if we are going to listen, we will hear something. There you are.
Welcome to this course on ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers. I'm thrilled to have with me Isa Fulford to teach this along with me. She is a member of the technical staff of OpenAI and had built the popular ChatGPT retrieval plugin. And a large part of her work has been teaching people how to use LLM or large language model technology in products.
All right, wonderful. Then each of these chapters is accompanied with the code, like this. So you need to click on that button to start, but we will stop it right away. And that is the code. There are 3 ways you can use this code. Way number 1 is just run it. You don't need to create keys. You don't need to sign in or anything. You just run it out of their area and on their expense, on their account. Let's look. Here is the first one to run. There's the run, okay? Of course, if you know this is a Jupyter book and you can run it by holding the shift key and return key like this. Again, shift and return, or you can click on run. Now that, first of all, they explain on the right here, they explain to you what it means. And secondly, you can run it right there. That's way number 1. He introduces some additional fragments of code. And then he says, when you talk to ChatGPT, that's what you do. And from then on, it's very straight right. Now, that's way number 1. He teaches you how to talk to ChatGPT. Officially, it is any LLM, large language model. But practically, in all of my investigations, I have not seen any model that works reasonably well. I remember how when they started, when they published this ChatGPT, when it was a new word for everybody, the CEO, Sam Altman, right? He said it was a terrible product. Well, that's what he said. CEO of a company says, we just published a terrible product. But we all know that it shoot off more than anything ever in the world. So this is not a terrible product. Even Sam Altman doesn't call it terrible anymore. So I tried everything else, nothing yet. Things show promise, and there are special cases where you might need them. So far, I never did. All right, so don't be disappointed that he talks about LLM in general, but practically they all run ChatGPT, and we know that from this code right here. Where's this code that says, it's the very first one here. OpenAI key, that's where you get OpenAI key, and that's where you put the OpenAI library. And that tells you you're talking to OpenAI and nothing else. And then he says the very basic, that is the first course. So the very basic steps of talking to ChatGPT, the difference is that you're not opening ChatGPT at all. Here's your ChatGPT. Oh, the session expired, you need to log in. But I wanted to make sure that, no. Okay, that is the regular ChatGPT. So, well, usually there are some prompts here, but Now the run-on, maybe it's another account, doesn't matter. It will tell you, hi, how can I help you? And sometimes it doesn't work, by the way. Maybe we're hitting exactly this time because I had it. Suddenly, all of my software that is based on ChatGPT stopped working. And I found out that, yes, it wasn't replying. That happened. And it wasn't giving me nice messages, kind of. But in any case, that is what you say as a consumer. You come to ChatGPT and you talk to ChatGPT, or in that case, you don't even talk to ChatGPT. Now, in Andrew's course, it's a little bit different. Here you are, right? Where you script that. You do talk to ChatGPT, but that goes through your Python code. And then he explains how you need to write very specific instruction. And the more you give it, the better. Don't be afraid to confuse it. And then he says, and give it time to think. That is really not what it means. If you want to explain a complicated task, then just give the steps and say step number 1, step number 2, and so on. That is the first course. In that course, you will learn how to tell it, summarize an article for me. Summarize an article would work on the regular ChatGPT tab, but you would be hard-pressed to find out how to say, and that's the article, and that's what I want you to do. How do you format your questions? It's easier to learn Python. Yes, I know I'm joking. And then use that script, because that will format your conversation with the computer much better. That's the first course. Now, after that, I have a certain order. So let me do this. That course you need, I'm putting it here on the chat. And thank you for your comments, right? That would be the first course, definitely, that I would recommend, and no other one. After that, it's a collection of what Andrew published, plus a few other courses after that. And that's an amazing amount of learning that he offers. Briefly, what are they? Next one is just a bit more polite conversational ChatGPT. That naturally can be the second course after that. And then you can do the LangChain. LangChain is really the key, because LangChain is an additional library that allows you to structure a conversation. Now, in that one, which we started with, there are no libraries. We talk directly to the ChatGPT library, to OpenAI library, and that's it. But there are some things that you will have to do again and again. For example, you can say, here is the language that I want you to use. Or here is the instruction of what I want you to do. It's easier to use a library that collects all of them. That is number 3. This one. LangChain is a library that collects good ideas about how to talk to ChatGPT, scripting. So let me just open this one. The rest of them I'm only going to describe in general, but this one is by another person. plus
Welcome to this short course
Andrew. Okay, well,
on LangChain for large language model application development. By prompting an LLM or large language model, it is now possible to develop AI applications much faster than ever before. But an application can require prompting an LLM multiple times and parsing its output, and so there's a lot of glue code that needs to be written. LangChain, created by Harrison Chase, makes this development process much easier.
That's the story. Harrison Chase is the author of this library and CEO of a startup in San Francisco, like they all are. And he explains how you can, for example, memory. Memory is what I'm doing right now. Memory allows you to add memory. That is because when you are talking to ChatGPT in the browser, it implements the memory. You don't see it, but it remembers your conversation. So you can say, what I was talking about before, forget it. Or you can say, why do you think so? And since it remembers the whole conversation, it will tell you, I think so because. But when you are talking to ChatGPT through a script, it's more powerful, but there is no memory. So instead, you use the LangChain memory and you provide it with the memory of what it said. Now, it's your work. You take care of that memory, you take care of where you store it, but now you have many more options. For example, you can just store all the memory until you run out of memory because there is a limit. And when you are using this, then you have control over how you control this memory. For example, there is a window memory. You remember that much back, but not everything back. All right, that is the third or second course. After that, I will not put a number. I will not put priorities. Instead, you will go to deeplearning.ai and you will choose what you want because your needs may be different. So in general, that is how diffusion models work. That's about pictures and the more LangChain, but W and B is about weights and balances, or when you have a large team, large AI team that's working very hard on improving the quality, then there are good ideas that are already developed for you and you don't have to do it again and again. That would be that course by the offer of that course, and so on. So we even have a few extraneous courses here, but in general, I'm sure that from then on, you will be able to figure it all out on your own, okay? Let us stop there. And let's only do one more thing before I leave you, is that they don't say it here because it's kind of understood, but what if you want it on your computer, okay? You run it on their computer at their expense, but you may want to keep it forever, as forever as it can be. For that, you can save. You just save as. That's not perfect because let us say there are pictures inside. The pictures are not saved. So if you are doing this, you have to know just a little bit of what you are doing. But ask your programmer friend, or if you're a programmer, you will figure it out. That's one more way. And the third way, copy paste. You can do this. Double click, you get the real code. So copy that code and paste it into your notebook. Now, which one is better? By the way, if you want to come back, you just say run here, run, and it's normal. Okay, which one is better? Well, personally, I start with a copy paste because every time you take a little bit of a snapshot, you understand it better. So I copy pasted each individual fragment, and then I got lazy and I started downloading that. And sometimes when nothing works, I run it at their expense. So all three ways are good. I'm stopping right here. I'm checking. Can you provide the link to the spreadsheet? I knew guys you would ask it. And I didn't want to publish it. But there's nothing special about that spreadsheet. It's just my personal collection. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let us share. I call it Sky AI Team Education because I use it for my programmers. Okay, but initially I also had their progress marked and not anymore. So I'll share this link. You are for general access. Copy the link and I will put it in two places. First of all, where's the chat? That's the link to the whole spreadsheet that will have more than we discussed, but all of that is just wonderful. We can choose to discuss any one of these. That's one way. And I will put that link also here. I will say that this is the learning plan. And that is it. Now we're complete. That's the whole collection of whatever material there was. And that's the learning plan. And I will stop share and allow you to have any comment or any question. And more or less, it goes in the order of how you would learn. Okay, Swapna is asking more questions. Do you need a token to invoke OpenAPI? Yes, you do. If you are running it within Andrew Ng's courses, that's provided. But if you have to do it your own, then very welcome. Then you go to AI. So let me show you. It's very easy to do it. I have too many browser windows, but what can you do? You need all of them. You open platform. Platform OpenAI, you can surely find it, and then you log in. Okay, and then I usually use one of these logins. As far as other people, I don't give them my password, but instead I make them members of the team. So I will show you the real team that I'm working with. Okay, so here I can see who else is in the team. Only one person right now. You can see where are the keys. And you see the keys that I'm using. And one interesting thing that happened to me recently is that I kept invalidating my key. Every minute it would stop work and it will email me that you leaked out the key. I found out that I was printing some Python object. Part of this object was the key. Why did it get there? I didn't know, but I didn't pay any attention. So every minute my key would leak and would be invalidated until I took out the print statement. That's where you get a new key. So if you need a new key, you just create a new key and it tells you class name and a key. When it generates the key, okay, that's a new thing. Well, no, I don't. I just wanted to show you. Boy, that's very hard. I'm human. That's exactly why I cannot solve it. So no, forget it. But you will do it. You'll get a new key and then you will copy it only once. You cannot copy it from here. If you click on edit, then you will only edit the name of the key, but not the value. All right, that's how you would do it on your own. Now I see some chat. Can we use your keys? That's a good question. Yes, in the class, if I want you to run something, I give you the key for that particular class. But I cannot give you the key for a long time because then I need to watch what you're doing with those keys, right? So I showed you everything. That's how we need to do it. Okay. So let me do this. Let's go finally come to the what we wanted to talk about. How do you build your career in AI? So we will, it's a long brochure, 30 pages, and we will only look at the major steps. So the very first thing is that 3 steps in career growth. His major idea is that guys keep learning. Since it is my idea in life anyway, then not very much new because I try to do it all my life. And then keep in mind that that's a great career. Then he dispels some myths if you had them. The myth is that can you become an AI expert? Doesn't it require a great knowledge of math? And he talks about no, that today AI is on the level that anybody can use it. Then he talks about imposter syndrome. Can I even aspire to be an AI expert? And we saw many simple things, like when you talk to AI, be deliberate, ask it to explain why it thinks so, and so on. So anybody. But Andrew is a little bit prejudiced because he is teaching it. So of course he will tell us that anybody can learn it and anybody can use it. But I think he's right on one thing. That is the revolution. That is the new electricity. He said that quite a while ago. But that is changing how the world operates, acts. So how do you find the right job for you? Here, the interesting thing is that according to Andrew, there is no conflict. There is no conflict between you and AI, but instead, humans are good at one thing, AI is good at other things, and humans know what it is about. They know, well, you can imagine science fictions where the AI also knows what it is about. And we are not arguing about that philosophy, but at least today, humans know that they need the shoes and they need them repaired, and that is what AI doesn't do. So it's a combination, it's a partnership. You do one thing, it does another one, then simple framework of how to start your AI right here, and just learn about AI and just bring your knowledge of your industry. For example, he talks about your product manager. What do you usually do? And then where does AI help you with that? Okay. Uncertainty is an important problem, but keep learning and it will gradually go away. Using information interviews. So how can you find the right job? You see, it is very much oriented towards practical steps to find a job in that area. And he is insidiously also building your thinking into how can you build an empire for Andrew Ng. Because for that, you will need thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of regular people who now know about AI and can implement it. There you are. You don't need to be greatest mathematicians to, just like you don't need to be an engineer to drive a car anymore. All right. Imposter syndrome, final thoughts. And final thought, I found them funny um, because he says, well, how many days in your life do you have? And please don't calculate. He says that upsets him. Well, about 20,000. That's so little. Therefore, every day should count. You cannot spend your whole day on playing games, let's say, because you only have 20,000 chances to do so. All right, the brochure is right here. It's in our folder. I'm closing that, closing all of that we don't need, and going back to that browser. I said the questions, I will answer them shortly. That was Coursera. That was the folder where everything is found, and the links to that everything that is found are right here. Okay, so let me look in the chat, and also let me pause after that so that you can ask questions. Do you suggest attending the ODSC starting this coming Monday? I would say yes, if you can, definitely, not because of any specific thing there, but because it's nice to be with your crowd. You will be very energized. My son is a security specialist. He loved going to every such security event because there are amazing people there and they're doing amazing things. So if you can, then definitely yes. And then James, if you're a traditional SDLC professional, software development life cycle, you would apply AI solutions requirements to traditional businesses. Yes, James, I think that is the best possible question, even though there is no best possible answer right away. Of course, the obvious thing is you can use the Copilot or any other way of coding together with ChatGPT.
Hello?
Now, yes,
This is James. I had a
yes,
question. Is it okay
yes,
to?
yes,
Yeah,
of course, please.
thank you. What I was trying to explain is that, sorry, I'm raising my desk up. What I was trying to explain is that where I come from traditional, the role of a BA, product manager, project, agile, scrum master, so I've been in the area that we're all accustomed to, right? And I love it and it's
Yeah.
fun. I'm somewhat of a liaison between the humans and the machine. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this new thing, quote unquote, so somewhat new thing that sort of bubbled up was AI. So where I'm struggling is, do I want to, maybe start my own type of thing or work for a company? But where I'm seeing the challenges in AI is everyone has seemed to have forgotten our traditional framework of, gathering the need, prioritizing a need, tightening the requirement of a need, and developing based on your limited resource. So right now it's kind of fun. Everyone seems to jump from an idea directly to development. So I see a huge opportunity over the next few years, to sort of get in between, infuse in between, get back to our traditional basis of, talking to an organization and looking at some of the challenges and then looking at what are my options in to apply AI and then tightening those requirements and then pumping it on through the development. So what I'm not seeing today is any sort of room or respect for that layer of, slowing it down. We can't do it all right now, but let's take a look at what our challenges are and then how might we utilize AI in a way that, let's say I have to go in and tighten up those requirements and then be able to hand that over. I'm not seeing the pathway for the middle right now because everybody seems to jump from a cool idea to what it can do. So you're jumping from leadership of the company directly to development. There's not that infrastructure that will have to be in place, in my opinion, over the next few years because a company has limited resources. We can't design a bunch of cool stuff. We need to design things that we're going to get some level of potential ROI, and you're going to need those folks in between. So that's where I'm struggling with AIs. How do I get into the degree that I can go to any organization or work in an organization to where we do some of the traditional behavior of figuring out what the business needs and then how instead of an older technology, how then now can we apply the AI flavor of technology today, but through the traditional format of prioritization, tightening those requirements, and then pumping it on through to add that value to the development team so that they're focused on, effective, things that they're going to be developing. So you're kind of tightening. I know it's still way early. It's still the wild frontier, but I didn't know if you knew how to, a way to get more into the high level of what SDLC can offer, or what are the flavors that AI can offer, so that I can, take that, prioritize that, and then hand it over to the development team. So that's what I see it's missing, is that layer. You know, I don't know if anybody else is seeing that in the business.
Yes, I see. What you're saying is that everybody tries to run before they walk, correct?
Yes, because it's fun and it's new, right? And that's what I feel like I'm seeing that right now.
Yes. And I think what you can do is start using it in exactly that way. For example, if you're coding, and maybe you're not, but let's say if you're coding, you can use AI not in the grand way, but just ask, this is a fragment of code. It will understand right away that you're asking how good it is it best practices, and it will start suggesting something. Then you will say, okay, I want to use traditional SDLC in my problem. It will say, describe a problem. That's the solution.
Okay.
In other words, you can start using it on any level, but just start using, because my feeling is that you're not using it. You're looking for a grand approach. What I'm suggesting is that here too, use your own recipe. Let's walk before we run. And that means, well, give it the spreadsheet and let us see what it thinks of this plan, and then ask, can you tighten it up? So examples of what I practically did. People ask me for a new course. I asked ChatGPT for a new course, send it to them. Now they're very smart, these people, and they next time don't even ask me. Sometimes, but that's the approach. Then slides, because I'm writing slides. I'm saying, here's the book. Could you convert it into slides? Not on that level, but here's a chapter. Can you summarize it? And that summary should be expressed as markdown, and I'll convert it into slides. All of this today, right now, before me mundane tasks, they do work.
Okay.
Have you tried it?
I have. I'm more the business side person that communicates with the tech folks. So I don't, my strong suit is on the business side of the business saying, hey, James, we have these 10 challenges. And so my role has been, in that BA PM role, is to understand those challenges, but to know the capabilities or the flavors of solution with ChatGPT to be able to competently say, for this challenge, here's how we can apply AI. For this challenge, here's how we can.
Have you tried it?
I mean,
Have you asked ChatGPT with that same question?
I would not with that question. I've asked some random, questions.
That's what I'm feeling. You need to ask that same question that you're asking me. Ask ChatGPT and see if it will make sense. And if it doesn't, it's not up to par as yet. If it does, it will be my and its answer to you.
Okay.
I want to hear how that works next time.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we were right here, and we looked at James. Look at Andrew's brochure. Okay, and one thing more I wanted to cover is, how do you scale? Here's my problem. All I will be able to do today, right now, is show you my problem. And that is, let us say I'm analyzing a certain law case, and I am analyzing this law case as part of the startup I'm involved in. So it's good when you're asking, what did he do? And ChatGPT immediately knows, has access to all the records, to all the videos, and tells you, oh, he sold alcohol to minors. But what if you're looking at 600 different cases? And if you're saying, is there a trend? Well, that's a very different problem because you're asking ChatGPT to look at 600 cases and it cannot do this. That is the kind of problem I'm working with now, and I actually succeeded. I worked an algorithm that asked ChatGPT 400 questions about 400 cases, but all of that I will have to do next time. So I'm stopping to share and I'm saying everybody, thank you for coming. Great questions and good discussion. And we'll continue the next week. Meanwhile, I wish you all the best.